Following the surge in Ebola cases, the government decided to declare lockdown in Mubende and Kassanda district as it waited for the Ebola vaccines to help curb the cases. Although the lockdown was meant to help the situation, it did not go down well with leaders in the area, who claimed that security operatives were manhandling locals in a bid to enforce the guidelines.
But we also want to urge the security to work together with the leaders, with the people. We all don't want the disease, but we don't want to die of poverty. We don't want to die of hunger. Let them leave people to move on one person on a motorcycle to go to their garden.
We have a case of a teacher who was going to pick UNEB exams that was beaten, and yet and another one who was told to move because he was moving with his border. He was told to leave the border alone, go pick the exams. On return, he was asked for money from the police officers. We have police officers that have just made this a business, a very lucrative business, because they've been earning a lot of money, 50,000 shillings per border.
In an interview with CTV this morning, members of parliament from the affected districts of Kassanda and Mubende urged the people in the area, especially border riders, to beware of consequences if they go ahead to violate the Ebola restrictions set by government.
I'm standing here to warn and also caution the border business goers that good enough, we've been given a chance for you to carry commodities, cargo or luggages. Don't you dare to carry passengers, because once you violate this freedom that has been given to you, then it means everything will be reversed.
The border in the villages and our areas is a tool of access and connectivity. People will not access anything and will not connect. Why? Take for example in Mubende municipality, 80% of the food that feeds my people in Mubende municipality comes from outside Mubende municipality. And that food is brought by borders. Many of our people are not lacking food per se, but they are lacking access to their food.
They have also welcomed government's decision to release motorcycles that were impounded on Saturday.
We have got a directive from the IGP informing and commanding all police officers and DPCs to release all the impounded motorcycles such that these people can go back on their duties, and they have been given allowance to carry cargo only.
I must accept that it caught us all unaware, but there are issues that came into play that we have to talk about. First was the restrictions on public transport, private transport, and borders. And people should know that in Uganda, you want or not, we are running a border economy in our areas to the extent that there is no way you can plug out the borders in the fraction of people's survival. They need it.
According to Pascal Mbabazi, the Bwekula MP, the situation would not have been as bad as it is now had the authorities responded to the cases in time.
At the end of July, when we are approaching the start of August, it's when I sensed something that was not going well in my constituency, and I had to raise this issue on the floor of Parliament, where I requested Parliament to order or to direct the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Energy to go and assess the situation in my constituency. Because in 1 month, we had buried over 25 people, over 25 residents. Before the outbreak was declared, we had buried 7 people with similar symptoms and signs.
The cases of death had increased in the month of August and September, though we could not just conclude that it was Ebola, because these were people being treated of malaria, headache, other illnesses, as they could claim in the hospitals or in the private clinics where they went to get treatment.
While delivering the directives, the president asked the government to come up with relief for people whose businesses have been affected as a result of the lockdown. In addition, the MPs have also asked the government and the Ministry of Education to come up with alternatives on how to transport learners to schools and also permit use of school buses. Lubega Ibrahim Kasinga and Sharon Twebaze, CTV PM Edition.